Hi there. Today I'd like to show you around in the almost finished streaming studio that we've built over the last couple of months. So let's take a look. Welcome in the studio. The room is 6 by 4 meters, which is 24 square meters or 260 square feet. So it's spacious enough for us to do what we do. Originally this was a storage room, so there are no windows, just 2 doors. That makes this a very perfect room. So over here we have our acoustic. They're actually made from cheap tiles from Amazon. They don't do much for the soundproofing, I guess, but the echo is a little bit less, and it actually looks quite nice, so it's perfect for what we need. Here is some room for later where we're gonna place our producer's table. It's not here yet, so that will be arriving I think in a couple of months. Over here we have our red wall. It just has a simple TV with the current stream and a Chromecast or whatever we want to. It was just an old TV lying around, so why not put it up on the wall. And this is our vinyl wall. It will change each session, at least that's what the idea was. We keep forgetting this, so it's still in the same covers as it was when we made it. So hopefully we will not forget that. The next for lighting, it's mostly LED strings. They're really cheap. We buy them here for I think €9 for 5 meters. It's more than enough for our ambient lighting. It doesn't do really full RGB, so it's just a few fixed colors, but it looks quite nice when it's dark. Now over here we have our DJ booth. It's actually around 3 meters long, which is really cool, and it has enough space for what we need to put on. The table consists actually of 2 regular office tables, which we have put on these kind of blocks. It doesn't look really sturdy, but it's actually fine, and I feel quite comfortable to put all the equipment on. We have created a do-it-yourself block here just for getting rid of all the cables and the power outlets, and this is quite nice for now. Maybe in the future we're gonna create our own custom booth, so it's got all the things that we really want to, but now for now that's more than enough. So for equipment, we actually have 2 Technics SL 1200 Mark II turntables. They're completely revised. They are, if I have to take a guess, over 30 years old. They got some new LED pop-ups. It's got a new toner arm because it was really bad. And this one actually has got a custom deck made. I only got one. The other one is still gray. It's the original deck. Only because they didn't have one in stock. So hopefully next time I can change that one as well. But that means we have to remove everything, so that, you know, takes a while to get everything up and running. For the mixer, actually the CD players that we use, media players, are the XDJs 1000 Mark IIs. Those are new. I bought them new. It was either this or the CDJ 3000, I think. That's the common one now. They were too expensive, and I really didn't think I was going to work with a lot of USB or MP3s to begin with, so I didn't bother on buying them. But these ones actually turns out really nice. You can do whatever I want with them. It's on there, so for me it's actually perfect. For the mixer, we have Behringer mixer, so it's not like what you regularly see a Pioneer Nexus, the 900 Nexus, mostly because I'm really not into all the effects and everything. I'm from the old school vinyl DJ period, so I don't fancy those effects that much and I don't use them. But what I do like is the long faders. So I really like the long faders. It's got a simple EQ, and that's more than enough for what we need to do. I bought this one because I have another one, a Soundcraft D-Mix 1000, which actually is still sitting here. The only reason I need to change that because the faders or the equalizers knobs were really stuck. So maybe if I can, you know, get them loose a little bit, I don't know how yet, but if I can, I may change that one. But I don't see a Nexus coming in here very soon, I think. So for the monitors, I have Behringer's MS16s. The reason I have these ones is just because I had them lying around. They are okay enough. They don't sound very good on a, so there will be others in the near future. But for now, it's okay enough. And over here, all the way in the back, we have our dedicated streaming computer. It actually is an Intel NUC, so it's really small, so we can stow it way in the back together with a very small screen. The NUC itself is an i7, so it can handle all the streaming. When I was shopping around for a NUC, I actually had two requirements: enough USB ports and an audio in. Unfortunately, when I bought this one, it turned out that it didn't have an audio in, which I only realized when I got everything installed. So I needed a dedicated USB card, audio card for here to get the audio in. But it's more than enough. It's fine. And for streaming, we use OBS as well. So for the cameras and the lights, it's really easy. We have one top camera here, which is a Logitech C920, I believe. And there's one there as well for the front view. And we have a small one here as well, overseeing just the and getting some detailed shots. They're all connected to USB. They capture at 1080p, which was a bit of a hassle to get it up and running on the OBS because the USB ports tend to saturate with that amount of bandwidth. So it was just trial and error on getting the feeds in the correct USB port, so everything works. So, but that's all up and running. We do have some studio lights, actually one very basic light. It's probably not enough. The streams are okay, but they are not really that sharp. I don't think that's because of the cams, but I think it's more because of the lack of lighting. So we probably have more lights on the roof later as we hopefully gain more experience in streaming. Now on OBS we have a few different scenes, so we have a scene for each camera, but we also have a few scenes where we have multiple cameras running at once. I usually tend to forget to switch scenes, so we have an automatic scene switcher in here just to keep the things more dynamic than just a single scene on the stream for a few hours. So for power, actually I have 3 power sockets in this room. It turns out that all these power sockets are on the same power group, which means we can use only 16 with 230 volts, which means it's about 3.6 kilowatts of power we can use without flipping the surge. We actually tried to see how much it was running, so everything runs from this power socket. We don't come above 200 watts, so everything, the monitors, the NUC, the lights, everything is just 200 watts or less, even with the television. So that's actually quite a nice surprise, which means we don't have to be afraid of tripping any electrical switches. There's also one air conditioning here. It is not on the same power switch, so we don't have to worry about that. But what we actually did is we created from this single socket, we've created, if you can see here, our 8 different sort of virtual groups, I guess. They all got their own power outlets, and they move all the way through the ceiling up to different parts of the room, so we can have like virtual groups where we put on one group all the power for the DJ booth, and we have one group for the video cams and one group, actually 2 groups for the ambient lighting. So we can switch them on and off whenever we need. So for instance, the computer, the NUC, is on a single group as well, so that's always on, so we don't need to worry about restarting, while we can switch off everything in the studio without any problems. So for the vinyl collection, I think it's a fairly okay collection we have here. It's mostly 1994 to 2000, which is the time pretty much other stuff in life happened and I stopped collecting and DJing. Most of this is dance club techno music. There's no real trance music in here. I don't really play that. There's a bit of hardcore. I actually had more hardcore vinyl, but I seem to have lost it, so I think there's somewhere a crate lost with a lot of vinyl. I used to move around a lot in the last 2 decades, So probably during a movement, you know, something got missing or stolen or whatever, something happened with it, so I lost a lot of it. Fortunately, a lot of that music is still available MP3, so I have them on USB, which is why I tend to use the XDJs a lot more than I was thinking I would use them. So for all the hardcore classics, I tend to use the XDJs, but if I have songs that I have on vinyl and I have here, I try to play them on vinyl anyway. So for the dance and club, it's mostly vinyl. I don't have that on the XDJs, so that is pretty much all vinyl. So that's it. I hope to give you an idea on the current studio setup. We're going to stream, at least we try to stream consistently every week. We will alternate between dance, club and classics hardcore with us, and probably some guest DJ once in a while. So hopefully see you soon. Bye bye.